In September 2023, a series of startling photographs shocked the world, a bizarre fusion of history and desperation, capturing Russian MTLB tractors topped with antiquated 2M3 naval turrets. These images, 80-year-old gun mounts, originally built to arm patrol boats, onto 70-year-old armored tractors, are a surreal blend of sea and land warfare. The Russians began putting different parts together in the spring of 2023, mixing and matching whatever hulls and turrets they had in a bid to make up for the escalating losses of modern combat vehicles in the now well over 2-year-long war against Ukraine. When the photographs were originally published, they were the laughingstock of the military community, and when they were used in battle, their lack of accuracy was glaring. But this soon may change. A recent Russian media report from the brutal battle for Avdiivka, a stronghold in eastern Ukraine, suggests Russia's jankiest armored fighting vehicle seems to be evolving, hinting at a new chapter in the essential art of war improvisation. The Soviet Union's MTLB, Russian for a multi-purpose light armored towing vehicle, is an armored personnel carrier introduced in the 1960s, during a time of technological advancement in the country. It was a mechanical successor to the mules and pack horses of the previous century, towing weapons into their firing positions or transporting infantry to the front lines. The vehicle is lightly armored, with steel thickness ranging from 3 to 10 millimeters and up to 14 in the turret front, enough to protect from small arms, and equipped with a small turret that fits a 7.62mm machine gun. With powerful steel tracks, a 240 horsepower 8-cylinder diesel engine, and amphibious equipment, the vehicle has an operational range of 310 miles, a maximum speed of 19 miles per hour across country, twice that on roads, and 3.7 miles while inside water. Mass production of the MTLB began in the early 1970s at the Kharkiv tractor plant in Soviet Ukraine, as well as in Bulgaria, and thanks to the vehicle's adaptable design, more than 55,000 models were produced and delivered all over the vast Soviet territory. Throughout its service history, in representation of the Soviet faction, the MTLB was used in numerous conflicts, including the Soviet-Afghan War and the Iran-Iraq War. As the Soviet Union broke into pieces, the vehicle continued to participate in conflicts like the Gulf War, the Chechen Wars, the Iraq War, the Boko Haram insurgency, and the Syrian Civil War. Once a ubiquitous presence on battlefields, the MTLB slowly began to fade from significant frontline service, seemingly destined to become a relic of past conflicts. However, it re-emerged on the modern battlefield years later, resurrecting its role amid the 2023 Russo-Ukrainian War. More often than not, military conflicts become a testing ground for unlikely innovations of modified military equipment. These wild alterations aim to rectify existing flaws and enhance the combat effectiveness of the machinery. Or sometimes, like in the Russia-Ukraine war, it's mainly to roll any vehicle onto the front lines as fast as possible. Since the beginning of the conflict in the spring of 2022, different modernizations have been increasingly common for both sides, especially Russia. After losing nearly 10,000 tanks, fighting vehicles, trucks, and howitzers only in the first year, it's a known fact the Kremlin is running low on modern armored vehicles, and their factories can't build new ones fast enough to make up for it. Because of this, many sightings have been caught on camera of hundreds of previously in storage vehicles, like decades-old T-62 tanks, BMP-1 fighting vehicles, and BTR-50P armored tractors. But one of the most surprising ones, which only further highlights the growing desperation of the Russians, are gunned-up versions of MTLB armored personnel carriers. According to the UK Ministry of Defence, while many Russian troops have been equipped with them, these are particularly common amongst pro-Russian separatists in Donetsk and Luhansk. Among the weapons and oddities slapped onto MTLBs are the turret of a BMP-1 fighting vehicle with a 73mm 2A28 Grom low-pressure gun, the 2B9 Vasilek automatic 82mm mortar, both in a hull top or turret mount, and the gun turret of a 2S9 Nona S vehicle, armed with a 120mm rifled gun mortar. But, even further highlighting the Russians' desperation, the most exotic MTLBs of them all are fitted with weapons never intended for use on ground vehicles. In the spring of 2023, Russia shocked the public when photographs emerged online of MTLBs equipped with the Cold War-era 2M3 naval turrets securely welded on top of their roofs. The 2M3 weapon, which began service with the Red Army in 1953, even earlier than the MTLB, consists of a duo of 25mm autocannons, one on the top and the other within an enclosed casing. Reportedly, the Russian army sourced these 70-year-old weapons from their Navy's Pacific Fleet, and in most cases, the vintage MTLBs and their even older turrets have been craftily integrated. The photographs show that technicians had minimally welded the weapons onto the tractors without blending their hydraulics and electrical systems, and most notably, without rebalancing the vehicle's center of mass. According to Edward Perov, a close observer of Russian combat vehicles in Ukraine, this is a grave physics mistake. As he stated, quote, "There's some feeling that the hydraulics of the 2M3 were abandoned and switched to fully manual guidance, since this is the simplest solution that does not require labor, but predictably affects the effectiveness of firing." The result of this Frankenstein vehicle is a janky fire support vehicle that violently shakes when shooting. In September 2023, a video that circulated on social media confirmed what many observers suspected. The 2M3 turret installed in the MTLB is totally unstabilized. In fact, the vibration from firing the first few rounds makes it highly likely that subsequent ones will fly well wide of their target. From the 2M3's initial deployment 70 years ago, there have been critical advancements in gun stabilization. Because of this, Ukrainian deployed MTLBs, armed with a more modern BM7 autocannon turret or MT-12 100mm guns, work much better than the Russian copycats, sporting turrets from the 1950s. An MTLB-12 can fire as far as 9,000 yards, while a Russian Frankenstein tractor shoots no farther than 2,700 yards while engaging targets on the ground. While inside, the crew members of the vehicle might aim the turret towards its target. With a significant degree of accuracy, it can suppress, but most likely can't destroy. So to be effective, the Russian Franken vehicle must get a lot closer to the enemy. However, the previously mentioned thinness of the MTLB's armor means the vehicle can't roll closer to the target to improve precision without significantly compromising its safety. But since the first sighting of the badly put-together vehicle, it seems Russia's jankiest armored fighting vehicle is evolving. A November 2023 Russian media report from the brutal battle for Avdiivka, a stronghold in eastern Ukraine's Donetsk Oblast, depicts at least one old MTLB armored tractor armed with an old 2M3 naval turret. But this tractor is different from the others, with the 2M3's vintage guns more blended and integrated with the hull of the MTLB vehicle that carries it. The biggest sign of this is that the turret is much shorter than the ones in previous versions. Because the tube-shaped base of the turret isn't visible, it seemed Russian technicians have either removed the base or sank it into the MTLB's passenger compartment. Either possibility, according to experts, should make for a more balanced and stable firing platform. While stabilizing the firing platform is a start and a clear sign that Russia has begun to address the MTLB-2M3's major vibration problem, this doesn't yet mean they're integrating the vehicle's and turret's hydraulics or other more intricate systems. Due to their inability to buy or build enough brand new and fully integrated vehicles to keep pace with battlefield losses, the Russian and Ukrainian armies increasingly rely on DIY vehicles. While the first Franken vehicles on both sides have yielded embarrassing results. With time, both sides of the fight have slowly gotten better at combining hulls, turrets, and guns. And as the wider war grinds toward its third year, the Frankenstein combat vehicles will likely continue to improve. With the numerous mutant MTLB fighting vehicles already in and around the front lines, with over 55,000 models produced during the Cold War, more will likely be invented and introduced in the coming months and years. While peacetime armies go to great expense, tailoring exquisitely optimized yet expensive war machines, the real-time pressures of an ongoing warfare conflict inspire creative adaptation of already available resources and all their potential uses. In such scenarios, a versatile and cost-effective base vehicle often proves more valuable than a meticulously engineered specialized unit.